Well, hello everyone and welcome to round 7 of the RRL WTCR Championship. We are coming to you live from Asia, from the Circuit de Guia in Macau for one of the more challenging races of this calendar. Let's have a quick look where we stand in this championship, shall we? Round 7, as I said, 1st of April, the race of Macau, and almost the end of the season we stay in Asia for the final race at the Malaysia Grand Prix circuit. But for today we are at the epic Circuit de Guia, and we have about 30 drivers on the server right now, so we will for sure see some great action. What do we have in store for today? Well, we have a 12-minute qualifying session coming up in about 10 minutes, and then we'll have a standing start race 1, which will be 60 kilometers. That's about 21 minutes. And for the second race, we will have a reverse top 10 grid with a feature race of 120 kilometers as well. So a lot of action, and most importantly I think for this race is that we are running full damage here in Race Room Racing Experience, and the barriers are so close in this track that will be the real challenge of tonight. But before we get into this race, let's first have a look back at 2 weeks ago when we went to Suzuka. The race of Japan 2 weeks ago was won on both occasions by Mike Stoffmeel, both the sprint and the feature race won by the Dutchman, with his teammate Christopher Strepe trailing him by only 3 seconds in race 1, and David Dore and Vlastimir Lucas joining Mike on the podium for race 2. Magnus Smedegaard completed the podium in race 1 as well, as we had more than 30 drivers joining us on the grid. We're only showing the finishers here on this screen. In terms of the AM Cup, it was David Koczurek claiming a 10th spot in the first race, giving him pole position in the second one, which provided some great action. Colin Barker and Nigel Wood completed the podium in the first race, and Clive Britton, our championship leader in the AM Cup, took the win for race 2, with David Koczurek trailing him by only 1/10 of a second at the end of the 120 kilometer race. So that was as close as ever, and that championship is really spicing things up as well. Colin Barker finished in 3rd in the second race. So what does that mean for the standings? Driver standings first. Mike Stoffmeel is firmly at the head of the field, 960 points in total for the Dutchman. Janko Glavac had to concede his first position after Suzuka. He has 714 points. Magnus Smedegaard is not too far back considering the amount of points everyone gets for these races. He is at 671 points. In the team's championship, it's the Belg and the Hollander, Mike Stoffmeel and Christopher Strepe in first at the moment. However, Christopher Strepe has cancelled his registration for this championship, so Mike Stoffmeel will have to defend the honors of the team by himself. This will provide a good opportunity for TSR Team Sweden or maybe Pulp Friction Racing, that's Smedegaard, Korhonen or Metcalf Horvat, to maybe claim the team's championship in the end in this WTCR championship. In terms of the AM Cup, as I said, things are really spicing up there. Clive Britton still leading that championship, but Nigel Wood creeping ever so slightly, ever so slowly closer to him. He's only 33 points behind, which is nothing if you see the amount of points that these drivers get for the races. Rick Binnersley seems to be quite far behind, but never say never. We'll have to see if everybody makes it through this race alive. That will be the first and most important task of today, and that's what we try to achieve as well with our Ironman Championship. which looks at non-race winners and looks at their participation and race finishing and finishing the races on the lead lap preferably. So Stoffmeel, Glavac, Korhonen and Horvat are discarded from this championship as they have all won one or more races. So it's actually Magnus Smedegaard with 12 starts and 12 finishes and 2 top 3s, 10 top 10 positions, who is leading this championship. Now for today, this is what the drivers have on their plates. The Circuit d'Aguilla, the 3.8 miles or 6.2 kilometer track, features a combination of fast straight, as you can see, and very tight corners. Circuit's minimum width being only 7 meters at some points, it's recognized as one of the most challenging circuits in the world. And that's what we will for sure see. So it's a wide open first section until we reach Lisboa corner, turn 3, where Sofia Flörsch had her crash in Formula 3 2 years ago, suffered a spinal fracture there. So very hard braking zone into turn 3. That will be a hotspot for overtaking, but also a hotspot for maybe incidents, especially in the first lap. Then it's a short run to T4, and then we snake ourselves up the hill until we reach turn 7. We get close, we hug the right-hand wall, brake for turn 8, and get through the tight right-hander of Maternity Bend, turn 9. Then we crawl our way even further up the hill through turns 11, 12, 13, all the way up to Moorish Hill, where we turn right just in front of the apartment buildings there. And then we head down to Melco hairpin, the tightest hairpin in the world, I would say. It's tighter than the one at Monaco. That will also be a hotspot for incidents. Let's hope nobody gets stuck there, and we'll get some images of that in just a moment. Once you're through the hairpin, it's a wide open section again. You head down into Fisherman's Bend, and then through R Bend, turn 24 to round off the lap. It's a long lap, about 2 minutes 30 we are looking at, so not too many laps here and not too many passing opportunities. Into the hairpin is a no-go unless you have some great cooperation of your opponent. So it's mostly Fisherman's Bend, but mostly R Bend will be a potential overtaking spot, and then into Lisboa, and maybe turns 7, 8, 9, that complex could provide some opportunities as well if someone gets a bad run. So before we get some live pictures, we need to promote our other series as well. We have our RRL GT3 Masters number 2 running at the moment on Sundays. So next Sunday, that's also round 7 of that championship. It's fully subscribed, but if you want to get a reserve spot, that's always possible. And most of the time we have some drivers dropping out, which means you can join in the fun. 75 to 100 minute races, also running Am Cup, Ironman Championship, etc, etc. So if you fancy a go, get in there. And this is the ideal preparation for our summer series that are coming up very, very soon after the end of this season of racing. If you don't have that much time, we also have a monthly series running, the NLS or the Nürburgring Langstreckenserie, running from February to November with all multi-class racing on the Nürburgring Nordschleife. So longer endurance style multi-class racing on the Nordschleife. If that's your thing, join us at United or RRLeagues.com, sorry, and get racing with us. So here we are, live images from the track. Here we see the tight hairpin, as we see Corbellari hitting the outside Armco So that's one of those risks that you have here on this track. Mike Stoffmail at the moment setting the pace, as I said, 2 minutes 30.1. That's a very quick lap, as Corbiari massively overshoots his braking point. Again into the Armco. And we have 32 drivers on the server at the moment, so this will provide some great action. We have Stoffmail from Dorge from Horvat, from Fillingham, and then Smedegaard, Britton, Metcalf. That's your top 10 at the moment. So it's also sunset here at Macau to add that extra bit of spice to the racing, as the drivers have about 1 minute left in this session before we head into qualifying. And as you can see, the Armco's so very close, and one more point to make before we head into qualifying. A 2 minutes and 30-second lap means we won't get that many laps in for the qualifying session, as when the timer hits 0, as per normal race room rules, when the timer hits 0, it's game over, so you can't finish your lap. You need to be across the finish line by then to get your lap validated. David Dorre here through the Melco hairpin, and this will be a hotspot for action, especially on lap 1 when everybody is still jostling for position. So I will be right back with you for the start of the qualifying session. As we all head out onto the track, it's Mike Stoffmail first out, and we will be riding on board with him for the first lap of this qualifying session to just get a feel for how this track feels from the onboard perspective of these WTCR cars. Many different types of cars are raced around this circuit when it's open. There's some Formula style racing, but also the WTCC used to race here, and always great action. Many times the track has been blocked, and there is even a GT3 World Championship race here hosted at the Dagia circuit as we head up the hill with Mike Stoffmail. If you have any questions about the league, about this race, about any of the drivers, just give us a shout in the comments and we'll try to accommodate as quickly as we can. Are there any new names here on the server today? It doesn't seem like it. Radek Pavlacek makes a return. A RRL regular in the past, but took a bit of a break and is now back as a substitute. Was in P12 at the end of the practice session. Coming to round 7 of the... So just like that, Mike Stoffmail still on his out lap. So as you can see, a long lap. Now into the braking zone for the hairpin. Gets it stopped in the Seat Leon Cupra, and let's go on board with Mike Stoffmail. Let's take the dashboard cam as he makes his way through Fisherman's Bend, and those Armcos as close as ever, as I said. So a good run through our bend. A bit of a hit on the Armco on the left there, but across the line as he starts his first flying lap. Full throttle through turn 1. through Reservoir Bend. And then we come onto Hotel Mandarin corner. Slight lift here. Nope, he's flat out and so close to the wall here. And then the hard braking zone into Hotel Lisboa corner. The 150 meters hard braking. Oh, and he overshoots his braking point, so we'll have to go with someone else. That someone else is going to be David Dore. Here is David getting into Lisboa. He brakes just after the 200 meter board, and that's more like it. Gets it turned into Lisboa, as we have a car off on the right there. This is even tighter than Monaco. Up the hill through turns 5, 4, 5 and 6, and then slight braking, get to the right hand side, brake some more into second gear, and then set yourself up here after the right hander for another full throttle section. And the car in front seems to be a little bit slower. Small kiss of the wall there, as David does exactly the same. This section is very easy to get wrong, and once you get one corner wrong, it compounds itself into the next corners as well. Here we make our way back down and then up the hill, braking right-hander. Now we make our way up to the apartment complexes and a hard right, then onto the power, and we make our way almost to the Melco hairpin. First left-hander, then through one of the tightest spots of the track here, which opens right up, and then braking. You don't see the apex, so you just turn in blind and get onto the power as early as you can to end off sector 2, which will be a 204.9. That's the first times will be coming in very, very shortly. Now, the way down to Fisherman's Bend, hugging the wall on the right hand side. Simon Fillingham at 2:31.7 at the moment. That's the time to beat. Can David Dore beat it? Jim Britton is right behind. Our bend, turn 24. Nice and tidy. Smedegaard at 30.8. Where does David Dore put himself? 8th position, 5 seconds back, so not an ideal lap for David. Let's see, Simon Fillingham currently in 2nd position, but 1 whole second back on Magnus Smedegaard. So he is currently setting the pace. Here he is in the blue Link & Co Volvo for TSR Sweden, and defending the honors of TSR and trying to get to the top of the team's championship. As I said in the beginning, another purple first sector through the S's here. A bit of a tap there off the wall as Nuno Miguel Abreu pips Simon Fillingham for 2nd spot, but only by 0.004 of a second. So gaps will be naturally a bit bigger here because it's a long lap and it's a very difficult circuit. But I think we will see some close times at the top. Mike Stoffmail is still on his outlap. I don't see any green or purple sector times popping up here for him. So here's Smedegaard making his way through the streets of Macau. Also Greg Metcalf is setting a purple sectors. David Dore as well, so recovering from that lap that put him in 19th position at the moment. Smedegaard already down into the hairpin, misses the apex by a mile, but it's so difficult to spot that you're happy you make it through. In any case, you have to keep an eye out for Metcalf and Dore. Metcalf currently in 5th position, Dore, as I said, in 19th. Britain puts himself in second position, 6 tenths down. A good lap for Jim Britton, but not quick enough. So across the line, Smedegaard will he improve a 230.8, becomes a 231.0, so he doesn't improve. David Torre then across the line into second, less than a tenth behind Magnus Smedegaard. So that's what we like to see, very, very close. And Mike Stoffmail 2 tenths up in the first sector. Did get the braking for Lisboa done correctly now on his first real qualifying lap. Metcalf as well, quite fast, as there seems to be someone stuck here at the hairpin. Oh, that's going to be a problem for Mike Stoffmail. Yes, and the track is blocked, unfortunately, so Mike Stoffmail will have to try another time, another lap. That will mess his Sector 2 time up very, very badly. What's Greg Metcalf doing? He's in fourth. Was he also affected? No, he's still in Sector 2, so he was not affected. The purple first sector, 91 thousandths of a second quicker than Smedegaard. So where will Stoffmail end up with that lap? Very far down, I suspect. P27, 8 seconds down. So many guys now improving on their own times, but the only one going faster currently is Greg Metcalf. Who does he have behind? Second sector, not too great, 2 seconds back, so that won't put him anywhere close. Magnus Smedegaard, I would say. Stoffmail then ready for another run. First sector, 2.5 tenths up, so a good job for him. Let's go on board. And well, that hairpin being blocked, that's something all the drivers are a bit careful of, a bit afraid of in that first lap, because that can happen and it could split the field right up if you're involved in an incident there and you're behind. So qualifying is super important here. You want to get as less cars in front of you as you can. As a car in front moves over, that's very positive for Mike Stoffmail. I think he would have lost a lot of time there, as we only have 1 minute left in this session. Will he make it to the end of the lap? I'm not so sure. He's making his way down to the hairpin. Well, yeah, that should work. No. Oh, that's going to be very, very close. We will also already see the timing screens. We'll follow Mike Stoffmail around as he makes his way through the hairpin. 35 seconds to go. We'll have to set a fast lap if he wants to get pole position. Horvat getting into third position, 3 tenths down, as we already get the timing overlay. Will Magnus Smedegaard keep pole position, or can Mike Stoffmail dethrone him? We have 13 seconds to go, 10 seconds to go through the last turn for Mike Stoffmail. He will make it across the line, I think. Let's have a look. And it's P1 for Mike Stoffmail. Very, very close and very, very lucky as well. But a great lap by him, a 230.4. So that puts him 8 tenths ahead of Magnus Smedegaard. What a performance by Mike Stoffmail. And the guys have 50 seconds to recover before the race starts, and I will do the same. I will be right back with you for the start of the Macau Grand Prix here at RRLeagues.com. Here we have everybody lining up, 21 minutes on the clock. We have Stoffmail on the left, Smedegaard on the right, and off we go. It's a good start as people are starting still in our bend there in the background. Stoffmail gets a good run, can go through turn 1 unharmed. Clean run. Oh, there's someone turned around there. That's Radek Pavlacek. Yeah, indeed. As we make our way through turn 2. Very clean so far and hard braking into Lisboa. We'll have to see if things go south. Well, a bit of a hit there, but everybody makes it through. Let's have a quick look. Yes, indeed, everybody makes their way through. Radek Pavlacek, oh, missing the front splitter, unfortunately. So he will have to come through pit lane. Mike Stoffmail already with almost a second gap to Magnus Smedegaard. David Dore is in 3rd. Robert Horvath is in 4th position. So our top 4 already making a bit of a gap to Jim Britton behind. Here is Jim in the Link & Co for the crew chief Megacorp. But the whole field here behind Simon Fillingham. A big train of cars there from 10th till 30th position. We're making our way down to the hairpin for the first time. We'll have to see if that causes any problems. Mike Stoffmail is the first one to arrive. He gets through. Our top 4 as well makes their way through. Jim Britton gets it done. Everything very well behaved. Look at this. The whole RRL grid moving through Melco hairpin. Oh, as we have João Oliveira, I think, stuck there. The rest of the field needs to wait. Oh, and that's what we feared. I think Clive Britton, yeah, he's stuck there on the inside. There was an incident between Suski and Britton as well to get into the hairpin. Pavlacek making up some spots already, as we have Clive Britton getting through the hairpin for the first time, and Paolo Corbellari losing the steering, I fear. But let's get back to the front. Here they are, front of the field, already getting through turn 2, and David Dore hitting the wall quite hard. And as I said, we are running full damage model, so that will start to upset the car if you keep doing that. Nuno Miguel Abreu, he is hunting down Greg Metcalf. Small taps of the Armco are to be expected here with these cars, as the lead gap grows to 2 seconds. So Mike Stoffmail at the moment very much in control. This is what racing at the Circuit d'Aguila looks like from onboard Nuno Miguel Abreu's Honda. There's virtually no way past if the guy in front doesn't make any mistakes. And I know for a fact Greg Metcalf has plenty of laps here around this circuit, so he knows it very, very well. Oh, as he overshoots his braking point. Can Abreu go through? Yes, he does. Greg just a little bit too hot into that corner. And Abreu gets through. Sergio Racuya now is behind, together with Simon Fillingham as well. So Greg, as I was just saying, he knows the track very well. Losing concentration for just a second, and that's what you get here on this track. Mike Stoffmail already through the hairpin. Then positions 2, 3 and 4 following around. Here's the rest of the field. There's Ralph Arella as well. Fernandez, oh, very wide entry, but Gets it done. Samuels Albertini, Thiago Matos also joining us very last minute. Gets it turned in. No, he doesn't. Oh, they get stuck. Can they get their way out of here? Who is that? That's Clive Britton getting there and getting through, getting a position on Rick Binnersley. But we have David Dore right on the back of Magnus Smedegaard here. Oh, and that's Smedegaard into the wall. Dore collecting him. Oh, unfortunately, a big incident there for P2, P3. Smedegaard gets going again, but Dore is not so lucky, missing his front splitter. And that's the danger of this circuit, especially turn 3 here, or turn 2. Very, very difficult, almost flat out. But if you turn in a bit too early, it's like the right-hander at Adelaide. It's so very, very dangerous. This puts Robert Horvat into second spot, but already 5 seconds back on Mike Stoffmail. Sergio Racuya. Oh, there's a lot of smoke there. Smedegaard retiring from this race. Yeah, that was Smedegaard's smoke, so he made another mistake and decided to call it a day, or decided to get off the track as soon as possible to not harm anyone on the track. This train here, Michele Molteni, side by side. Ralph Arella gets through on Michele. Vlastimir Lucas is also trying to get past. Riding on board with Vlastimir, Michele is right in front. Ralph Arella is in front as well, and we have a back marker. I think that's Radek Pavlacek right in between. Yeah, Radek Pavlacek moving off the racing line now, trying to let people pass, but that's easier said than done here on this circuit. Here we are back on board, or from the rear view wing of Michele Molteni, as the gaps at the front start to stabilize. 6 seconds between P1, P2, then Jim Britton in third, Greg Metcalf in fourth, Racuya and Abreu in fifth and sixth. Filling him in seventh, Raymond Papai, eighth, Ralph Arella in ninth, and Michele Molteni we are riding with right now. He is in 10th, and that's a spot that gets pole position for race 2. So that's a spot that you really, really do not want to lose. Here they are making their way through the second to last turn, Fisherman's Bend, then hard braking once again. Here they are, Mike Stoffmail already getting through the fast left-hand bend. Also Jim Britton getting through there as Simon Fillingham gets close to Nuno Miguel Abreu, gets it turned in, stays clear of the wall. That's very well done. Ralph Arella behind Raymond Papai. Can he get the braking done? Yes, he can, but no passing opportunity. But there could be a passing opportunity here for Vlastimir Lucas. Lucas is on the inside. Gets it stopped. Yes, he does. Vlastimir Lucas goes through on Molteni. So Molteni loses that top 10 position. Jack Camaletto is right behind. No, he's not right behind. Sorry, that's still Radek Pavlacek in between there. And he is holding on. He is hanging on with these guys. Jack Camaletto is about 4 seconds back. Here we are on board. Let's have a look back from Elio Fernandez, shall we? He's in 13th. And he has a whole pack of cars behind him. Corhonen, Barker, Nazakawa, Oliveira and Naku, all hunting for his position. This race is, well, it's easier said than done, but it's just about keeping your car between the barriers, keeping your line. It doesn't need to be super quick. You just need to keep it on the line. Don't make any big mistakes, and you should be fine to defend. You just need to get a good run out of the last turn. to set you up for the long straight until you get braking for Lisboa. Miguel Abreu and Fillingham are right behind Rakuya now as well. As we get through the hairpin, oh, Fernandez scraping the wall there, and the rest of the field getting through as well. Having a quick look at the AM Cup standings, as we will have a quick look here. Metcalf, Rakuya, Abreu and Fillingham. Four-way battle for the top four. Let's have a quick look at the AM Cup standings. Raymond Papai, he's in the AM Cup, and he is currently running in 8th, so leading that class. Oh, as we have a big incident there again. Ralph Arella gets it done. Oh, and it's Raymond Papai, just talking about him, gets it wrong, just like Magnus Smedegaard, and is now facing the wrong way on the back, on the front straight, making their way down to Lisboa. Papai is not moving, as Wesley Brooks Alfa Romeo streams through. Oh, and Andre Mol, is he going to collect? Yes, he does. A big slide there for Andre, but I think Andre will be able to continue. Yes, he does. But there's Nigel Wood and Clive Britton in a battle in the AM Cup as well, getting past Andre Mol as well in the AM Cup, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, Andre's car is completely knackered, I think. But it was only a slide, so he should be able to continue. A small hit on Papai, but Andre Mol decides to call it a day as well. Nuno Miguel Abreu, meanwhile. Oh, as Greg Metcalf made another mistake. Well, made a mistake, and that gives Rakuya, Abreu and Fillingham the position. Have a quick look back from Rakuya. He has Abreu and Fillingham there fighting for P4. The gap at the front stabilizing between 7 and 8 seconds as they get through the hairpin here. Oh, Fillingham getting it wrong. Can Metcalf take advantage of that mistake? Small tap of the inside armco. Metcalf showing his nose, but I think Fillingham has this under control. Quite a couple of retirements already, but that was to be expected. This is a race of attrition. We have 8 minutes to go, and Nuno Miguel Abreu, can he get past Sergio Rakuya? He is for sure trying, gets it turned in. Okay, that's first point. Now through the right hand turn, that's going to be very difficult. Unsighted. Yeah, that's it. That's what I was afraid of. Hold the brakes. Yeah, get moving again. And Abreu falls back to P8, P9 now. Can he keep inside the top 10? He's now in 10th, but he will lose another position to Jack Camaletto, and he is slow as well. Abreu is slow, as Rest has to try and avoid here in the braking zone. Corhonen gets it through. Sorry, just checking. Abreu also parking the car, I fear. And the guys that will finish this race will be scoring some big points, as we have Wood and Britton battling it out into the braking zone for Lisboa. Britton is in front. No, sorry, Wood is in front. Clive Britton, our championship leader, and Wood trailing him by only, as I said, 34 points if I'm not mistaken. Let's quickly check. Yeah, indeed, 510, 477, that's 43 points, sorry. So Nigel Wood will want to stay ahead and claim those points in class. More points than Clive Britton is always a good sign. Tom Korhonen, he is right behind Elio Fernandez as well. Simeon Naku. Let's have a quick look here. Simeon on board as Simon Fillingham is standing still. Oh, he's blocking the hairpin. Fillingham making, well, yeah, the wise decision to retire to not hurt anyone else, but well, that could have been resolved. I think Clive Britton then making his way past Nigel Wood. Nigel leaving the door open and Britton getting past. Now, who says you can't pass on Macau? We've seen some great moves, all assisted by some slight mistakes, but that's the nature of this track. Can Nigel Wood follow through? Can he get within reach again of Clive Britton to make a move? So how does our top 10 stand now? It's Tom Korhonen in P10 at the moment. And the battle behind is a sight to see. We have Barker, Camaletto and Nazakawa. Let's go on board with Nazakawa. He gets past Camaletto. Well, they are side by side. Will they go side by side through this bend? Oh, very nicely done by Camaletto, but he doesn't get the position. So a wise decision to get out of that too wide action through the fast right-hander. And Colin Barker has this whole pack of cars hunting him down. Nazakawa, Camaletto, Oliveira and Naku. A battle for 11th position. They are only 2 seconds back from Korhonen. That's the position you want to be in. You want to get into pole position for race 2. That's the ideal position to be in. As Stoffmehl increases the gap to Horvat to about 11 seconds. And who are our retirements so far? Kotsurek, Smedegaard, Korbejari, Dorasuski, Papai, Mol, Matos, Fillingham, and I think as well, no, Abreu is in the pits. He will keep going. That's the spirit here for this race. And remember, guys, we have a feature race coming up after this one. Reverse top 10 grid and a double length race. So everything still very much in play. All these guys that have retired can still make their way back onto the grid and can get back into the racing action. Through the hairpin once again. Everybody will be warmed up now, getting to know the track and the track grip. Jim Britton doing a stellar job to get into P3 and keep that. It's that's the way you need to do it. Just keep out of trouble, and that's what he did. Try to not be involved in any incidents. Horvat, exactly the same. Rakuya had a bit of argy-bargy already, but he is now very firmly in 4th position. Metcalf is behind him. Vlastimir Lucas is there, and Ralph Varela in 7th. Molteni, Fernandez and Korhonen complete the top 10. Clive Britton, meanwhile, eking out that gap to Nigel Wood, so he is a bit quicker. And if you like the stream, guys, give it a like. If you really like what you see, subscribe to the channel and you will be notified of any future live streams or videos that we put out. So that's helping the channel and the league out massively. All the guys that are still running now, they deserve a big round of applause when we reach the end, for sure. 21 minutes doesn't seem like a lot, but around this track that is a real challenge. Mike Stoffmehl, meanwhile, started from pole and didn't give it away. And pole position is the best position to be in. A clear track ahead of you, full focus to the front, because that's what you need. You don't want to be looking in your rearview mirrors here on this track. Colin Barker is just on the cusp of that top 10. Can he still make something happen? As Stoffmail rounds the last corner and gets going for the last lap of this race. Here is Molteni. That's Radek Pavlacek behind, but he is trying to catch Ralph Arella. Oh, and hello, Colin Barker. As I said, 11th spot, following Tom Korhonen. Let's see what Barker can do here on this last lap. He's very, very close to Korhonen, who is himself close to Elio Fernandez. So this battle just around that top 10 will heat things up for the last lap of this race as the timer reaches 0. Oliveira and Naku also in a heated battle, but we'll stay with this one here. Barker gets it turned in. Everybody through cleanly. Now can he get into the slipstream? Doesn't opt to do that. Korhonen goes defensive. Hard braking. Oh, Korhonen brakes quite early. Let's have a look. Side by side. Korhonen stays on the inside. That's touring car racing for you. Good positioning for him. He knows he has to defend. P11 is not where you want to be for race 2. If you have P10 at the moment, you don't want to lose it. And pole position is a very nice gift for keeping that for sure. Elio Fernandez just slightly running away with it now, as Rick Binnersley in the background. Let's have a quick look. Binnersley battling it out with Wood. Wood makes a slight mistake, but there's no way past for Binnersley. Hits him into the back ever so slightly. But here is Mike Stoffmail rounding out the final corner of this track and winning race 1 12 seconds ahead of Robert Horvat, and who is another 12 seconds ahead of Jim Britton. So that's our top 3. Let's have a quick look back. Lucas very, very close to Greg Metcalf. Can he make something happen? Korhonen still in 10th. Colin Barker is only 4 tenths back. We'll move to that battle very, very soon. Doesn't seem like Vlastimil is quite close enough to make a move. Oh, yeah, he wanted to have a look. Does Greg keep it together? Yes, he does. Oh, and it's across the line. Only a couple of thousandths of second in it. That's for sure. Here's Korhonen. He's holding on to that 10th position. If he keeps it tidy here through the last turn, yes he does. So P10 is for Tom Korhonen. He will be side by side on the race 2 grid with Elio Fernandez, who was racing in the Race Room GP only this past Sunday in a completely different machinery, as they all make their way across the line here. Albertini, Clive Britton, Nigel Wood get across the line. Wood and Binnersley still battling it out. Rounding off the final corner and across the line, Binnersley only a couple of tenths in it. We will get final confirmation of the standings. Stoffmail, very dominant win, fastest lap as well, a 30.5. That's half a second quicker than Horvat, so very well deserved win for him. But look at this, Arella and Molteni, very, very close, and the whole field actually very nice performance. Quite a lot of dropouts, but we have our feature race coming up in just about 50 seconds. I'll take a quick break and I'll be right back with you for the start of the second race. So everybody lining up on the grid. Engines revving, echoing in the distance. Tom Korhonen is on the left, Ilya Fernandez on the right. The lights are on, 47 minutes on the clock. And off we go. It's a good start for Korhonen. Fernandez moves to the outside line, also gets a good start. Everything quite well behaved here through the first turn, it seems. Yes, indeed. Everybody getting through. Now it's Mandarin Corner. That will be the challenge. Is there anybody trying to go side by side? Yes, they are, but everybody gets through. Who's that into the wall? Oh, big crash there in the background as people are driving backwards. Oh, this is not what we like to see here on the opening lap of the race. But seems like everybody can get going again. Let's get back with these guys when they have made their way back onto the racing track. Pablo Corbiari calling it a day already after that first lap crash, but that's one hell of an incident, one hell of a corner as well to be having at the start of a race with 32 drivers on the grid. Tom Korhonen keeps his first position. Ilya Fernandez already almost 2 seconds back, and he's keeping Lucas, Arella, Molteni, Metcalf, Rakuya, Horvat, Britton, Camaletto, and Stoffmail behind. Stoffmail, he's in P11, so he lost a position in these opening stages of the race. As we make our way through this first racing lap, let's have a look if everybody makes it around the hairpin cleanly. Here's Lucas. Everybody gets it stopped. Through the hairpin, everybody. Don't get yourself locked there. Stopped there. The whole grid stopped. That's what you also get in real life races. But everybody gets going again. Nazakawa and Dore, unfortunately, blocked on the track, and here comes Andre Mol. He was involved in that first lap incident. Mol, Matos as well. Oh, yeah, Dore could never make that turn. Let's move back to the front. Such a challenging circuit here to get it right, even in real life, but in sim racing it's I think more difficult. Even you don't have that good peripheral vision unless you have a VR headset. Through the first right-hander, Ilya Fernandez defending from Vlastimir Lucas. Will Vlastimir have a look? Fernandez goes defensive, gets the braking done, gets it turned in. A bit late, but very well done by Ilya Fernandez at the moment. Korhonen, meanwhile, I was thinking he was running away with it, but he's back within half a second of the rest of the field. So the whole top 10 now. Very sorry, missed the adding the standings once again. The whole top 10 covered by 5.5 seconds, as we have some retirements coming in, unfortunately, after that first lap incidents. Nazakawa, Matos, Smedegaard, Britton, O'Brien and Corbiari already out of this race after 1.5 laps. Mike Stoffmail, he made it up into P10 already. There's everything still to gain. If your car can drive around, then you should stick with it. Not judging the retirees, but sometimes you can get higher up than you expect in this kind of races. It's really a race of attrition, so you want to just keep putting in those laps Those will come in handy in the future if we race this circuit again. And it pops up from time to time. It's a fan favorite. It's you hate it or you love it. That's for sure. As Simeon Naku brakes way too late for the hairpin, gets going again and doesn't really hinder anyone. I wanted to say, but it was Albertini getting just too wide. Let's go with the front action here. Vladimir Lucas making his way through the last turn, as it's a 5-way battle, well actually 10-way battle for the lead. Ralph Arella right behind, and Michele Molteni as well. Here's Molteni, he has Arella and Lucas behind Molteni, blocking the outside line for Arella. That's very sensible to brake a bit here. Very well done by Molteni. Arella, as Lucas is on the inside of Fernandez. Are they getting the braking done right? Molteni here as well on the inside, but positions stay as they are. Greg Metcalf almost going for the move here in the back. Here they are, the top 10 streaming through. Molteni really putting the pressure on Arella. He's right on his gearbox for the whole time. Elio Fernandez then, he's in second spot and holding on. 1.3 seconds behind Tom Korhonen. Oh, and into the barrier. Will this give Vladimir Lucas the opportunity he was looking for? Almost, just a small touch there. This helps Korhonen in front massively, as Arella has to defend with all his skill against Molteni. So we make our way down to the hairpin once again. Fernandez almost blocking the road there. Stoffmail, yeah, in 10th position. Camaletto joining that pack. So, well, those big battles, of course, slowing the whole field down. Looking back from Elio Fernandez. Oh, misses the apex by a long shot. So we have 40 minutes left on the clock in this race. Through turn 1, that's flat out. Vladimir Lucas seems to be running a little bit less wing. Let's hope for no incidents here. Through the right hand kink. Get it turned in. Yeah. In my opinion, it's better to hit the outside Armco than the inside one, but Vladimir Lucas is in the inside. Can he make the move stick now? Yes, he does. Fernandez was able to defend on the last lap, but now he needs to let Vladimir Lucas go in the Volkswagen. Can Lucas challenge Korhonen in front? Michele Molteni still behind Ralph Arella, and here we are on board with Jack Camaletto. You will be able to find his onboard of this race on his channel. As the gap between the top 3 now increasing a little bit. But the gap behind Camaletto about 2.5 seconds. So he's hanging on here to this group and having every opportunity to move up the grid if there are any incidents or mistakes by drivers in front. So that's what you want to be looking at. Of course, you need to find a way through. If someone makes a mistake at the hairpin, you're more than likely stuck. Once again, Molteni trying to get past RRLeagues. Oh, as he goes for the move, he goes for the inside line. Can't make it stick. Can't make it stick. Vlastimir Lucas as we round off the final turn, and Ralph RRLeagues is right behind Elio Fernandez as well, together with Molteni. Vlastimir Lucas will look at the inside line for the final turn. Yes, he does. Korhonen goes wide. He has the inside line for turn 1 now. And a good run. Slightly in front there, Korhonen, side by side through turn 1. And this will give the advantage to Lucas. Lucas is in front and he is a bit quicker, so he will be able to move in front. Vlastimir Lucas makes the move quite unexpectedly into turn 1, actually, for the lead, but very well deserved. Vlastimir Lucas into P1 here in the feature race, as RRLeagues has dropped back. Yeah, Greg Metcalf is now in 4th position. Ralph RRLeagues drop back. Molteni gets going again. He's back in 12th position, so there was some kind of incident there. Sorry, we missed that. But it's Lucas, Korhonen and Fernandez now on the podium. Rakuya, another Italian, putting the pressure on RRLeagues now. So we ride on board with Greg Metcalf in 4th. It's actually Elio Fernandez leading this group. He's 2.5 seconds behind Korhonen. So the battle for the lead currently between Lucas and Korhonen. Fernandez dropping back a bit and keeping these guys behind. There's also a nice battle pack in the P15 region at the moment. Look at this whole streaming pack, P3 to P11, all covered by a couple of seconds here. If you like the stream, give it a like, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to be notified of any future videos, subscribe to our channel. That's always very much appreciated. The racing goes on all year long here at RRLeagues. So if you want to get involved in some race room racing experience league, very high level drivers, but speeds for every driver. That is for sure, as we have Rakuya almost making the move on RRLeagues, but now he's Robert Horvat is in a position to make a move, maybe. Horvat getting close. Can he keep it tidy through turn 2? Then he will have an opportunity for the braking into Lisboa. Just a small tap of the brakes for safety, just for safety. Really want to get that correctly. Rakuya moves to the inside on Ralph RRLeagues. Can he make the move stick? Yes, he does. RRLeagues into the barrier. Keeps going, but loses 2 positions. Rakuya and Horvat move up into P5 and P6. Meanwhile here, 3 wide. Oh boy, don't do that. Oh, just a small tap there between Oliveira and Abreu, and Binnersley gets going again. That was very, very tight indeed. Radek Pavlacek as well, side by side with Nigel Wood. Pavlacek is in front. No, he's not. Nigel Wood on the inside. Pavlacek leaves some room. Very nice driving here. But Pavlacek makes his way through in the end, so a better race for race 2 for Radek Pavlacek. Remember, he was losing his splitter after turn 2 in the first race, but he kept going. That's the spirit here. in light of the Ironman Championship as well, of course. Where is Mike Stuffmill? Oh, dropped back to P19. You have probably seen that already, dropping back to P19, so he was in 10th, but was involved in an incident, obviously, to drop back. So far he is 15 seconds behind David Dore, so he has his work cut out for him to make his way up the grid still. Vlastimir Lukas has disappeared into the distance. 5 seconds in front, and Tom Korhonen is still needing to check his rear view mirror, but here we go again. Robert Horvat and Sergio Racuya, they made their way past Ralph Arella on the last lap, but here they are once again. As Greg Metcalf is also very, very close to Elio Fernandez. So Metcalf and Horvat potentially making a move. But everything stays as it is at the moment. Metcalf in P4. Oliveira, he is in the pits. Yeah, indeed, with all the action, I almost forgot we have a pit stop here in this race. The tires will not last for the entirety of the race. Jack Camaletto as well coming into the pits for tires. That's quite an early stop, but maybe that's a wise decision. Clean air here on this track is everything. You can gain 2 to 3 seconds a lap if you have a good vision and a good clean air here. So this battle here behind Tom Korhonen, behind Elio Fernandez, is a sight to see. Metcalf, Racuya, Horvat, Britain. A four-way battle for P4. Oh, as Britain tries to get through on Horvat and does. Great move by Britain. Finished in P3 in the first race and now moving up the grid. He's in P6 now. A very, very nice move. Ralph Arella, also in the blue Link & Co, is right behind. To 3 Seats and an Audi behind Albertini now. So he has his work cut out for him as well. Oh, Robert Horvat. No, sorry, he's into the pits as Korhonen struggling to keep P2. Here's Elio Fernandez, gets his braking done right and gets back at Korhonen. Gets into P1 actually. Where's our race leader? Where is our race leader? Did Vlastimir Lukas drop out of the server? I think he did. I can't find him. Nope, we lost our race leader due to a connection issue. I fear that will not go down well, but that puts Elio Fernandez Korhonen started from pole, but Elio Fernandez now getting back into the lead of this race, and the battle for the lead is as close as ever. 2 seconds separating our top 5, 6 seconds separating our top 7. So it's as close as ever as we make our way down once again, almost to the Melco hairpin. Let's have a quick look if we can find out what happened to Lucas. It's a game crash, unfortunately, as we make our way through the hairpin once again. And Fernandez really setting the pace here, running away with it. 1.6 seconds now. Back to Tom Korhonen. Let's see from Ralph Arella's perspective. He has Britton, Rakuya, Metcalf and Korhonen right behind Britton, challenging Rakuya into the last turn. Oh, Rakuya going into the pits. That was unexpected. So some early rounds, some early pit stop rounds, it seems. And onto the jacks. Small tap of the Armco for Ralph Arella. Greg Metcalf is on the inside of Korhonen. Metcalf, is he outbraking himself? Nope, gets it turned in. Korhonen just turns it in front of Britton. So it's Korhonen, Britton and Arella, the three blue Link & Co cars in P3, 4 and 5. When will they start coming into the pits? 25 minutes on the clock. We're halfway through the race. Can Greg Metcalf now close the gap down to Elio Fernandez? It is coming down in any case, so we'll have to see. And when are these guys coming into the pits? Will they keep going? Well, if I were Fernandez, I would keep going. Clean air in front. You don't want to give that up so easily. So if the tires are holding up, just keep going, but time's dropping off quite quickly. Meanwhile, in the AM Cup, quickly check if Elio is in the AM Cup. Nope, he's not. So Greg Metcalf. Quick look. Oh, Elio Fernandez, our race leader, into the pits. Yes, indeed. So that gives Greg Metcalf the lead of the race. Here is Metcalf together with Britton. No, together with Arella into the pits. Let's see how they come out, shall we? Britton. We need to move to this. Britton on Tom Korhonen. Britton is in front. And he will get the position. Yes, indeed. He can move over already back to the ideal racing line. So Jim Britton up into P2 at the moment. Elio Fernandez still onto the jacks as Arella is already going, so Elio Fernandez losing heaps of time here in the pits. He will lose his first position. Ralph Arella gets out behind Robert Horvat. Did Horvat already pit? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. And Elio Fernandez speeding in the pit lane. He will have to serve a drive-through penalty. So Elio Fernandez will not be in the podium for this race. Same for Rick Binnersley. speeding in the pit lane, unfortunately costing him a big amount of time. Andre Mol has our previous race leader right behind him. Elio Fernandez and João Oliveira, the teammates, right together. Okay, so Mike Stoffmehl currently in 5th. He hasn't pitted yet, so he is 22 seconds behind Nuno Miguel Abreu. He has quite some time to make up. Let's see where he ends up come the when the pit stop cycles have all gone through. I think Horvat has already pitted as well as Rakuya. So I think that as Albertini is slow, I think Horvat might be our effective race leader. Oh, as Albertini really struggling with the car now after some taps of the Armcos. Gets it going again, but he has a long way to go to the pit stops. Anyway, Metcalf coming into the pits, Britton coming into the pits, Miguel Abreu as well coming into the pits. So Tom Korhonen staying out. So Tom Korhonen staying out. He retakes the lead of this race. But we'll have to see where. I think Metcalf was in first. We'll have to see where Metcalf comes out. Does he get out in front of Britton and Abreu? That's most important. But where do Horvat, Dore, Rakuya end up? I'll have to see. Metcalf gets going again. Horvat already coming out of the final turn. So I think it's a Pulp Friction 1-2 at the moment. Horvat from Metcalf, Sergio Rakuya getting in front of Jim Britton in the pit cycle. I'm not exactly sure if Horvat has already pitted, but I think he did. Yeah, I think he did. So let's go with that. Ralph Arella then right behind. So that battle in the top 10 still very much on Colin Barker and Nuno Miguel Abreu, together with João Oliveira, make up the current top 10, where we have Tom Korhonen, who still has to pit, and we have Mike Stoffmehl setting blistering lap times, 30.1. That's I think quicker than his qualifying lap time. Yeah, I'm quite sure of that. So Stoffmehl really putting everything on the line here to get close, to get into that top 10. I think he was in P19 at some point, so a top 10 should be a good result already for him. We'll have to see if he can make that happen. Tom Korhonen, meanwhile, I think he will be coming into the pits on this lap, and we'll have to see where he comes out. Horvat is 6 seconds in front of Metcalf, but Metcalf doesn't have that luxury. He has Rakuya less than a second behind. So once Korhonen and Stoffmehl make their way through pit lane, we'll have a clear picture of where everybody stands. As Jack Camaletto is having a ball here up the inside. He's right behind Michele Molteni. Oh, Metcalf turned around in a hairpin. Unfortunately, nothing he can do there. He will have to... What can he do here? He needs to bump and grind around. Luckily, there's no one behind. But Greg Metcalf, race leader a couple of minutes ago, now in P9, needs to get going again. As Nuno Miguel Abreu challenging Colin Barker for P7. Is Tom Korhonen in? No, he's not in. He's still going. Trying to make a very late pit stop, but he's doing 2:38. That's not quick enough. Stoffmehl at 2:31 on the last lap. Horvat as well at 2:31.8 on the last lap. So Korhonen needs to pit ASAP in my opinion. Oh yes, indeed, Stoffmail pitted early, but is he... Well, yeah, fuel shouldn't be an issue, so if he can keep the tires alive for the next 16 minutes, whew, that will be a challenge. Well, his lap times are very, very good. Good spot, Andre. Thank you for that. Oh, that puts another perspective on this race. Horvath and Stoffmail running the exact same lap times, but Stoffmail's lap times will be dropping off significantly come the end of the race, I think. So we'll have to see if Horvath can steal away that win. So that's why Stoffmail was down in 19th. Not an incident, or not a big one, but a trip through pit lane. So I'm dropping back, but might be a good strategy, getting some clean air and setting some good lap times while the other guys are squabbling ahead. Tom Korhonen, however, he still needs to come in, so he's coming up on the final turn now. Does he dive into the pits? Nope, he keeps going. His last lap time at 2:40, so his lap time is dropping off massively, but he's not coming in. There must be a good reason for that. Oh, Nuno Miguel Abreu and Colin Barker. That's the battle to watch currently, as everything closes up on the front. Horvath matching Stoffmail's pace, just a bit 2/10 quicker at the moment, but the gap is just under 12 seconds between the two. So Abreu, a good run, but just a bit too wide. Can he go for the inside line here on Colin Barker? I think he will. Hard braking on the 200-meter board. Wise decision to brake early-ish, but he goes through. Miguel Abreu goes through on Colin Barker for P7. As the gaps have now increased ever so slightly. We go on board with Jim Britton hunting down Sergio Rakuya. Link & Co versus Volkswagen. Italian versus Brit. Oh, Rakuya slow. As I said, if you get one of these corners wrong, you get the whole section wrong, and that loses you a lot of time. But unfortunately, there's just no way past. Look at this. Even if Jim wanted to, he couldn't put his car next to Rakuya's here in this section. But now we make our way down to the hairpin as Mike Stoffmail gets within 2 seconds of the race lead now of Tom Korhonen. As we saw in the lap times, he's 8 seconds quicker per lap. That's massive. Through the hairpin, very nice. And Ralph Arella is joining this party. Look at this, he's right behind. This might be a masterstroke by Mike Stoffmail. Pitting on lap 2, lap 3. And now making it to the end. Korhonen as well. But he's doing it on a no-stop strategy, and he is suffering a 2:41 on the last lap, whereas the rest of the field is doing 2:34s, 2:33s, 2:32s for Robert Horvat. So Horvat about 1 second quicker. Now a 2:33.1 for Mike Stoffmail on the last lap. What does Horvat respond? A 2:32.4. So again, good part of a second off, but that's not enough. That's not enough to get him in the next couple of minutes, in the next 7 minutes. David Torre, can he get João Oliveira and follow through with Simon Fillingham? David is on the inside and side by side. I think this will be the move. Yes, it is. Up the inside, and Dorre clips the ball there. Can Oliveira get back at him? He for sure wants to. Over the curb. That's when you know you're very close to the Armco at least. It's a slight lift that's necessary here at the end of the lap, at the end of the race, sorry. And at the 200-meter board is the breaking point for most of these drivers. Meanwhile, Colin Barker in the Peugeot, the only Peugeot on the grid, hanging on with Abreu and Arella and Rakuya in front. As we have 20 drivers still driving. Nazakawa is the last of the running order. And he's battling it out with Albertini, only 1 second, 2 seconds behind him. And this is the closest battle on the track at the moment. Especially this one here. Through the hairpin once again. Oh, as Britain up the inside or around the outside of Korhonen. So Korhonen is now in the danger area. He is dropping back, and he has 4 cars behind him within about 5 seconds, so he will start to lose many positions, and he just has to hold on for another 5 minutes. Where's Mike Stoffmail already starting his next lap, so that will mean we will see another 3 laps including this one. But, going back to Rakuya's rear wing, Arella in the blue car behind, and then Abreu. Oh, as Rakuya is getting past Korhonen as well. Here he is, Korhonen losing 3 positions in the course of 1 straight just by not having the right amount of grip through that fast right-hander. Korhonen now down into 7th position. And Colin Barker will want to get through as well on Korhonen behind, but Abreu really challenging Arella, and Horvat not able to take the advantage over Mike Stoffmail. So how on earth can Mike Stoffmail keep setting these kind of lap times when we see Tom Korhonen doing 2:34s? Stoffmail is a whole 10 seconds quicker. He did get new tires, but well, as I said, in lap 2 or 3 that was. So we'll have to get some explanations later to see what happened there. So we have a nice view on the battle between Arella and Nuno Miguel Abreu. A quick look where Stoffmail is. We have 2:45 to go, so he will just get another lap in after this one if he decides to go for that. So we will have 2 more laps. Horvat taking 1 second out of Stoffmail on the last lap. Abreu hitting the wall, but still getting close. Can he take 2 in the course of 1? No, he doesn't. I think it will stay as it is. Yeah, Rakuya, Arella, and Abreu. Abreu is on the inside though. He will go through here. Yes, indeed, Abreu makes the pass on Ralph Arella. Very nicely done. Oh, Tom Korhonen into the wall. Does he have a flat tire? I wonder. Looks like he's on speed. A bit slow, a bit slow. Anyway. Can Abreu take another position in the final stages of this race? And will Stoffmail allow us to go 1 more lap? Will he take the risk of having to do 1 more lap of this treacherous circuit? Will he give Nuno Miguel Abreu another lap to try and make his way into the top 4? We'll have to see. Jim Britton is in P3 again. Good result for him. Stayed out of trouble, and that's what you get. Good pace as well. Very consistent. Still doing 2:33.9s, equaling Mike Stoffmail here on that last lap. As the timer hits 0, and we go for our last lap of this race. Let's have a quick look here at Nuno Miguel Abreu, as Horvat goes 1.2 seconds quicker than Stoffmail. So I think Horvat needed about 10 more minutes maybe to get close to Stoffmail to really start feeling those old tires on Stoffmail's Cupra. Now can Abreu make the move on Rakuya? Rakuya got it wrong through this fast right-hander on the previous lap. Almost got passed by Arella and Abreu. Oh, they both go into the wall. But it's Abreu losing out. Abreu just being a bit too eager to try and get past and losing the position. Will Colin Barker move through? Yes, he does. Colin Barker goes through. So Miguel Abreu now. Oh, as Rakuya goes straight into Lisboa. Can the rest of the field go through? Yes, they can. Metcalf as well. And Rakuya unfortunately retires from this race. Could not think of a good way to get out of that messy situation. But very, very, very unfortunate. This puts Ralph Arella in P4, Nuno Miguel Abreu in P5. So only 1 more lap Nuno Miguel Abreu needs to do with his broken car. That's for sure. Meanwhile, Mike Stoffmail, and the gap to the lead is down to 5 seconds. But Mike Stoffmail, as I said, with a master tactical decision will make his way through the hairpin. Here's Horvat through the hairpin, so the gap is very, very small. But Korhonen, needs to come into the pits here on the final lap of the race. In any case, Mike Stoffmail pitting very early for tires and staying under the radar, for me at least, and for the other drivers maybe as well. Getting into first place in the pit cycle and not giving it away. Incredible pace on worn tires. Mike Stoffmail wins the feature race at the circuit Dagia, or the Macau Grand Prix. Robert Horvat takes second spot, and Jim Britton will take away the last podium spot for this race. Ralph Varela here will take P4 after some drama with Abreu and Rakuya in the final stages. Abreu manages to hold on P5. He's very lucky to do that, but we still have a big battle here on our hands as Greg Metcalf is dropping back. Why is that? Simon Fillingham up into P6, Colin Barker up into P7. Oh, what a scrap here. Fillingham, Barker, Greg, Metcalf, 3 wide over the line. We'll have to get confirmation on the final standings of that battle, but oh my god, after 50 minutes of racing, this is what it comes down to for P6. Fillingham, Dorham, Metcalf, Barker, very, very, very close. Here's Oliveira finishing the race and Nigel Wood taking the win, if I'm not mistaken, in the AM Cup. Once again, in 2 weeks' time, we will see if he is then the current championship leader in the AM Cup. Michele Molteni, P12 for him. Elio Fernandez finishing off his lap in P13. Rick Binnersley, followed by Andre Mol. They are still battling, still on it. Oh, Binnersley is missing his front splitter. Heartbreaking for Fisherman's Bend. Can Andre Mol keep it tidy through the last corner? Seems like he can. Oh, Andre side by side, but Binnersley finishes in front. Oliveira or Korhonen across the line as well. Nazakawa still going, but it's Stoffmail winning 4 seconds in front of Horvat and Britton. And let's have a look. Fillingham finished ahead of Dorhe, Metcalf and Barker, but look at that, all within the same second. They finished 3 wide. Nigel Wood first in the AM Cup. Andre Mol, I think, will then be in second in that class, and no more AM Cup finishers, if I'm not mistaken. We'll need to get confirmation on that in 2 weeks' time. So this was the Race of Macau, round 7 of the RRL WTCR Championship. It was a pleasure to have you all. 2 great races, great action, great sportsmanship and great skill shown by all of our drivers. And we stay in Asia in 2 weeks' time on the 15th of April. The final race of this season brings everything to a conclusion. The Teams Championship, still up for grabs. The AM Cup Championship, still up for grabs. The Drivers' Championship, we'll have to see, but Mike Stoffmail puts himself firmly into the lead of that championship. We'll have to see if he can still be bothered. And as well, the Ironman Championship will be decided on the last race in Malaysia. So that's all for me today. Mike Stoffmail winning 2 races at the Circuit Dagia with some great action. And all that's left for me to say is thank you for watching. If you want to get racing with us, look us up, rrleagues.com, and you'll be with us in no time. And see you in 2 weeks time. If you liked the stream, give it a like. If you really liked it, subscribe to the channel to be notified of any future live streams or videos. And I will see you in 2 weeks time. Bye bye.